We are at Mesa Verde National Park, and all I know about it is that there are some cliff dwellings, but believe it or not, as soon as you enter it, you are climbing the side of the mountain. Really cool road. Apparently you cannot take any trailers with you or anything like that. There is a specific parking lot that you leave them all there. And due to COVID, everything's closed. Maybe it's just winter, but visitor center's closed. Nobody there, but we got in with our 4th grader pass, and the ranger gave us a stamp and gave us a free sticker. I didn't have to pay for it. All of that good stuff.
This is beautiful.
Really cool. I feel like I'm on a helicopter. Like it's literally just climbing up this mountain. Pretty nice. You know, it's funny, you really never know what to expect until you show up at the national park.
Because we don't do much research.
Well, some of these places, you know, judging on like a picture you've seen, or like for example, this one beside cliff dwellings, nobody talks about it. I mean, how big they are, what else is in here. I'm sure in the spring it's like nice and lush. Now it's all just like dry grass and rocks, but it's big. Pretty interesting mountains, very different from what we've seen in Utah or in other parts of Colorado. Anyway, so you're really driving kind of in between these mountains on top, and you can overlook on each side, like as far as your eye can see. Very cool. Kind of a windy road. Definitely would be cool for motorcycles. I always give motorcycle tips. How about that? I never ride it myself in any of the national parks. But you never know, maybe one day I'll change that. You know, it's interesting, there is not that many mountains around here, but this road basically takes you to the top. And you never really see much of like the road behind you or how it curves the mountains. You pretty much just kind of, it's almost like a little snake going, hugging the tippy tops of the mountain. So at every point, you pretty much feel on top. Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like I'm flying.
I think she had enough of the cool roads, but if you haven't figured that out yet, I like epic roads. And this is one of them, so I highly recommend Mesa Verde.
Take me back to the sea level.
This is really cool. There is actually some snow up here.
Yeah, it's 8,300 elevation, the highest point.
8,300 feet elevation.
No, the highest point, but one of the highest points. It keeps going higher.
I don't know, maybe we'll go even higher. So what do you think about my theory? If there'd be no guardrail, this would be like an epic drive, but just because it's a guardrail. There is a guardrail that's like a regular road.
The difference between guardrail and no guardrail is me holding onto the seat like it's gonna save my life.
Fair enough.
It's funny because they have like little labels of fires. Which fire happened when?
Which year?
Which year?
It is interesting. I bet you this brush grows back in like within a couple months.
No, Peter, no!
It's a sunny day today.
This is the craziest drive.
So yeah, so ironically, well, they have all these fires labeled, which whatever year it happened. I don't remember the name of the fire, but apparently in 2002 was a pretty good fire. Like this, as far as the eye can see, those trees are burned, and I don't see anything new growing. Very interesting.
There's a lot of new shrubbery growing, just because it's off season.
True.
Maybe those trees are not completely dead. Maybe they just don't have leaves.
But that's almost 20 years.
Well, that's what I said. Maybe they're not completely dead. Maybe they just don't have leaves. Because it's not like here. It looks like it just stopped. All the trees have leaves.
That looked kind of dead to me. They're dead to me. That's it.
They have all these like whatever.
But they do have these like high elevation type of stuff, whatever. The high elevation. What do you call these things? The green year-round, whatever.
Evergreens.
The evergreens. But they're weird ones because they're kind of short and like kind of curly. because we're at 8,000 feet. Do you like it?
Yeah.
You almost looks like a sandcastle, huh?
Yeah.
So what else did you find? Did you find anything else out of that thing?
Could be just a hole.
Too bad most of the stuff's closed for the winter. Can't see.
What is it?
I'm exploring it. See? Exploring it. Yes. So that's worse.
Interesting to imagine people living here in a canyon in the winter. I have nothing else to say.
It's just so cool.
Everybody dancing.
I'm not cold.
A very lot. Like a whole city, Thapa. I'm looking at that one. Oh, there's that one. Oh, it's more.
Big chunk of it.
Wow. It's a bar.
Want to look?
Wait a minute. Mommy house. Mommy house.
So we're frozen to the bone. It's 37 degrees, but the sun just went down and it feels extremely cold. But anyway, most of this cliff dwellings is from 1200 AD. Yes?
Yep.
Kind of interesting. So living in a tent to living in a cliff, probably living in a cliff was better. Especially that it snows here, it gets like this cold. Yikes, you know? Well, boys, what'd you think?
Hey, they're cool. It's been a long time since I've seen a real steam locomotive. It almost blew my ears out.
You like it, Daria?
She jumped.
That was cool.
It's like a train.
Yeah, witnessing this train in person, it's insane. Like, the ground is shaking the way this thing is going. And the whistle, there is nothing, like I never heard anything like it. It's awesome.
It's pretty neat. The steam and oh, cool.
I really wanted to go on this train. This is Durango Silverton train. It goes over these ravines and on the side of the river on the cliffs. And I think it's a narrow gauge railroad. I can't remember exactly the gauge size, but it's a narrow railroad. It's a little expensive now with the masks and everything else and all kinds of closures and whatever. It wasn't just kind of on our list to do, but I'm glad that we at least seen the train.